Today we're making a rose, and this is a beginner project and the perfect gift to give to someone this Valentine's Day. For the materials, you can use any color yarn to make the rose. I'm using this red acrylic yarn and green yarn to make the petals and stem. You'll also need a hot glue gun and some hot glue sticks. I'm also using bamboo skewers to make the stem part of the rose, and if you don't have this, then chopsticks can work as well. A 4mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and some stitch markers. To begin, we'll create a slip knot. Take the tail of yarn and cross it over the long end of yarn, creating a ribbon. Then with the longer piece of yarn, we'll insert it into this hole and take both ends and pull up to tighten. Insert your crochet hook into the hole. Then we'll chain 49. To chain, yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on the hook. Repeat this until you have 49 chains. After 49 chains, we're going to half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. To half double crochet, yarn over, insert your crochet hook into the second chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Repeat the pattern of half double crochet in each chain all the way across. I'm approaching the end of the row and I have 1 chain remaining, so I'll work a half double crochet in that last chain. And here's what the chain looks like after row 1. To start row 2, chain 2. Turn your work, and we're going to double crochet in the first stitch. To double crochet, yarn over, insert your crochet hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Place a stitch marker in the first double crochet stitch. We're going to work a double crochet back in the same stitch that we just made. So I'm going in and making a second double crochet, and I'll work a third double crochet in that stitch. So yarn over, insert the crochet hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you should have 3 double crochets, and then we're going to skip a stitch and work 3 double crochets in the following stitch. So that's the first one, second, and third. So the pattern for this round will be skip a stitch and work 3 double crochets into the following stitch until the end of the round. So skip a stitch and work 3 double crochets. At the end of the row, you should have 2 stitches remaining, and we're going to leave those unworked. You should start to see it curl up like this. And for the final row, we'll chain 2, turn our work, place a double crochet in the first stitch. Then we'll work 2 double crochets in the next stitch. Here's my first one. And I'll go back in the same stitch and work a second one. In the next stitch, we'll work a double crochet. And then we're going to chain 1. And in the next stitch, we'll slip stitch into that stitch. So you'll start to see a petal forming like this. And we're going to repeat this process again. So chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, work 2 double crochets in the following stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, slip stitch into the next stitch, and we'll chain 1 again. You'll continue this pattern until the end of the row. So I'll demonstrate that sequence one more time. When you reach the end of the row, you should have 4 stitches remaining before the stitch marker, and I'm going to work the sequence one more time. So that was my double crochet, and I'm doing 2 double crochets in the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch in the following stitch. So you should have ended right before the stitch marker and not in the stitch where the marker is. So at this point we can remove the stitch marker and fasten off. Grab your scissors and snip off about this length of yarn. Take your crochet hook and pull the yarn through and tighten the strand. We finished making all of the rose petals, and now we can move on to making the rose leaves. We'll start by creating a magic ring. Take your tail of yarn and wrap it around 2 fingers and turn it over to create an X. With your crochet hook, insert it underneath the right strand and over on the left and scoop up that strand. Then we'll insert our crochet hook underneath the strand in the back and pull through the loop on our hook. Remove your fingers, and here's the magic ring. Chain 1, and we'll work 6 half double crochets inside of the magic ring. After 6 half double crochets, take this tail of yarn and pull on it to close the hole in the middle. And you want to leave a little bit of space for inserting the skewer. Then we'll slip stitch into the first half double crochet. Then we're going to chain 6. And we'll turn our work so it's horizontal. In the second chain from the hook, we're going to slip stitch. So insert your crochet hook in that chain and slip stitch And in the following chain, we're going to work a single crochet. And the third chain will work a half double crochet. In the fourth chain, we'll make a double crochet. And finally, in the fifth chain, we'll work a double crochet. Next, we're going to slip stitch to connect the leaf. We'll skip over this first stitch and work a slip stitch in the following. So we'll skip over this one and work a slip stitch in the next. And we'll repeat this process again. So we'll chain 6, work a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, single crochet in the next chain, half double crochet in the following chain, double crochet in the next chain, and double crochet in the last chain. And we'll slip stitch in this next stitch to join. So we won't skip over like we did with the first leaf. And you'll do this until you have a total of 6 leaves. So this is my final stitch, and I'm slip stitching to finish off. And I'm going to chain 1 and fasten off. Pull the yarn through and tighten. Here's what our rose sepals look like, and you should have a total of 6. I'm going to turn this over and tie both loose strands together to create a knot, and this will eventually get hidden and trimmed down later. For the next part, we'll move on to assembling the rose. First, you want to identify the correct side. So this is my right side, and if I turn it over, this is the wrong side, this side with ridges. And I'll take my hot glue gun and insert a glue stick and apply a little line of glue along the edge. And take your skewer with the pointy side, we'll push that down onto the glue. And I'll take more glue and put it on the bottom edge. And I'm going to snip this tail before I start rolling it up. We'll take our skewer and begin to slowly roll it. And you want to apply a little bit of glue at a time so that it doesn't dry out. And when you're rolling up, you want to make sure the petals are all aligned. So I recommend holding the skewer as you roll and holding down to let it dry, then applying more glue to roll. So I'm slowly rolling this up. If there's any sticky parts of glue or residue, you can remove that as well. So my glue application wasn't the best here, but I'm continuing to work along the edge and using my skewer to form the rose. When you reach the final petal, you can apply glue all around this end so that it stays secure. And you'll want to hold this down for 30 seconds to a minute to let it dry. Next, we'll take our rose sepals and we'll turn it around so that the wrong side is facing us. And with the wrong side, we're going to insert the skewer into that center hole. and push this up. And I'm gonna trim off some of these loose strands. Take your hot glue and put it around the base of the sepals. Then push it up onto the rose. And I'm gonna hide this little strand underneath. Take some more glue and apply it to each leaf. And press down on it for 30 seconds to let it dry. And repeat this process for each leaf. Depending on how strong your glue is, you may not need to press down as long as I am. It actually took me about 45 seconds to a minute for each of these leaves to finally stick. And after everything sticks together, here's what it looks like. The last part will be to make the stem. So I'm applying a little bit of hot glue to the top of the skewer. Take your yarn and attach it starting at the top. And we'll rotate our skewer, and the yarn should naturally twist onto it. I'm applying a little bit more glue and doing it in small sections and continuing to twirl. And we want to make sure that the skewer is completely hidden, so do this part very slowly. Apply some more glue and continue to twirl until you reach the very end of the skewer. So just keep going like this, and I'll speed this part up so you're not watching me twirl forever. At the end, we'll trim off the yarn, apply a little bit more glue, and stick that little piece of yarn. And here's what my final rose looks like. I hope you love the way it came out, and thanks so much for watching.